Hello and good evening from Poem Praise 2. Certainly, peace and blessings be upon you. And as we move along to our next extraordinary African American, it's going to be Bessie Smith, which is a blues singer. During the time period of 1894 to 1937, and it reads as such. She once lost a job when she interrupted a story to yell, "Hold on, let me spit." That was Bessie Smith, later known to the world as the Empress of the Blues. Now, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1894, Smith was one of 7 children. She grew up poor and she grew up tough. Both her parents died when she was very young, so she was raised by her older sister, Viola. Smith loved music. When she was only 9 years old, she began singing on the street corners for nickels and dimes. When she was 18, she got a job in a show where she met the great Gertrude Ma Rainey, a well-known blues singer who quickly spotted her talent. Now, for the next few years, Smith traveled from town to town, singing in clubs, tents, and theaters. It was a rough life. Often, singers had to work several shows a day in hot, crowded conditions, and theater corners didn't always pay what they had promised. Segregation was the rule throughout the South, and that meant travel was difficult and uncomfortable. Once a group of Ku Klux Klan men began to cause trouble, Smith threatened them, saying, "You better pick up your sheets and run." As she cursed them, they left in a hurry. Now, by 1920, Smith had become one of the most popular and highest paid blues singers in the country, attracting black and white audiences alike. She worked with many of the best blue, well, no, that's not what it says. She worked with many of the best jazz musicians in the business, including Louis Armstrong, Charlie Green, James P. Johnson, Jack Teagarden, and Benny Goodman. Her singing influenced later artists such as Mahalia Jackson and Billie Holiday. Now, in 1923, Smith cut her first record, Downhearted Blues, an instant hit. It sold more than 2 million copies. In fact, the success of Smith's albums kept Columbia Records from going out of business. Although she earned a lot of money, Smith never forgot the poverty of her early years. This is evident in the lyrics of Poor Man Blues, which goes like this for the lyrics. Mr. Rich man, open up your heart and mind. Mr. Rich man, open up your heart and mind. Give the poor man a chance. Help stop these hard times. Now for Smith, the hard times got even harder when the Depression of 1929 hit. Kind and generous, she had given a lot of her money away and had spent much of the rest. Although she was still able to work, the big money was no longer available. Radio was becoming popular, and because of the Depression, people were not buying as many records. So Smith began touring the country again with the new show. Things were going well until Smith was critically injured in an automobile accident near Clarksdale, Mississippi. She died in the Negro Hospital in Clarksdale a short time later. For Miss Bessie Smith, I do thank you for listening and paying attention here on Poem Praise 2. I want you to be blessed, and I will be speaking with you a little later. I'm going to give you a preview of who our next extraordinary African American is going to be. The next one is going to be, we're going to talk about the Great Northern Migration. So what does that sound like? It sounds like it's going to be some migrating up north. Kind of like the birds, you know. Well, I'm up here north, so you know, the birds up here, when they get a little bit cold, some of them, they fly south because it's warmer down there. So I guess this is just going to be the opposite, because they're talking about the Great Northern Migration. So must be from the south coming up north, I would suggest. But stay tuned, and we will see. And certainly be blessed until I speak with you again, all right? All right, y'all. Later.